yourself, like, you know, in this kind of way. And a lot of guys, they sit there and they, I call them elusive because it's deeper than avoiding. They're elusive. You reflect themselves back to themselves. You know what I'm saying? They mid-weave.
Yeah. Them niggas dodge the mirror like a vampire.
I'm telling you, efficient at it.
Yeah, but I think the other thing is, too, is like, it took me a long time for me not, like, I would say, again, like, I go back to certain pivotal points, like, in, like, mid-20s, like, when I stopped filtering the world through my mom's voice. Like, and it first of all, it's a hard separation to make, too. Because, like, that's how I'm used to taking in the information and filtering it through that voice that my mom gotten, like, in my head. She done dug and burrowed herself so deep in my head. And then it make you question yourself as an individual, right? Like, the thing that my mom would do is, like, create these situations where I could be victimized. And it's like, baby, like, I'm the villain outside. Like, you know, you think I'm being influenced, like, I'm the bad influence. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's me. But it filters through where, like, I'm trying to prove something. Like, I'm trying to prove, like, no, they ain't victimizing me. They ain't influencing me to do shit. Like,
right.
Because it's like taking away that autonomy. So then it took me a long time to, like, get to the point where it's like I stopped filtering everything in the world through my mom's voice or my mom's mindset. It's like, how the fuck do I start thinking for myself? First of all, have I ever even had an original thought? Like, have I ever thought for myself?
And have you ever, and one thing that comes up, right, is that have you even got a chance to fear for yourself? I know for me, for my mom, that was the big thing. She was seeing the TV. Trayvon Martin shook my whole house like it was a category 7. I'm telling you, it was coming at me. Like the type of conversations I had to have growing up, that's not something everybody gets to understand, right? Because of the sheer stress of the entire environment. So I'm sitting here echoing her fears in public. Like, you know, I'm walking around hyper vigilant. Right, but like, am I hypervigilant, or was I blessed enough to feel safe right now? Right, while this whole catastrophe was going on, right? Like, cause some people mistake paranoia for productivity. It's not the same thing. When we see an incident happen in our community, that's not your time to be like, oh, I hope it don't happen over here. No. It's okay to look at it, but then also acknowledge we're here to mend. We're here to mend, right? Like, they always want to have the person with common sense afraid. And that's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be the only one dreaming. Cause he can't dream for himself. Trayvon can't dream for himself no more. Yeah. All the boys can't dream for themselves no more. But we here. That's why I always try to think back to. Cause I'm like, and my parents, like what you was talking about, parents will sit there and be like a worm in a book, eating through all your pages until they're not even satisfied on the way out. Right? Like, but the reality is that we're the biggest case. We're the only option for a lot of these guys who get caught in these incidents. Yeah. We're the only option. I gotta live life right because bro couldn't live life right. Right? Like that's what I see. Only reason I want to be a good father is because I was lucky enough to have one, and I know that growing up in school, I ain't see that every time.
Yeah, see, that's another thing too, bro. It's like I tell people all the time, like, I didn't really have a lot of role models. I had a lot of examples of what not to be, right?
Yep, it happens.
So then there's also this aspect of it, like what you saying, like, you got to live because Trayvon didn't get to live, right? But, like, I also got, like, this whole other, like, I know that these niggas ain't demons for real. Like, I've been around them. I've been in proximity to their humanity. You know what I'm saying? And I know why they act like, if your mama alcoholic and your sister out here going crazy because there's a lack of guidance, but you trying to get money and you don't know your pops. Yeah, you're trying to be a demon when you outside, but like when you around people that make you feel safe and comfortable, people you can talk to, then you showcase your humanity. I know the human side of a lot of these niggas that people think are demons. You understand what I'm saying? And the thing is like, I may have gotten out of that situation, right? And whether it be me being aware of my decision making and being able to understand, like, okay, if I continue making these decisions that's landing me in jail, then eventually I'm going to either end up in prison or I'm going to end up dead. Like, they done told me this time and time again that that's how it is. Right. But I keep getting in situations where I just escaped death or I keep going to fucking jail. So eventually one of them things finna be a permanent situation. And you got to, first of all, you got to cut niggas off, which ain't the easiest thing to do because now you ain't in the comfort zone, you by yourself. But second of all, it's like, okay, well maybe by me making this change, like I can influence my friends to make these changes too. And as many of them that done went to prison or died is just as many of them that's now addicted to drugs. They don't even tell them no more. They addicted to them. And it's like, okay, I got something to live for too, to be an example for my friends who couldn't go and express it themselves because they was too trapped into this mentality of being a street nigga. Like they couldn't let it go. It was their entire identity. By the time you get 25, 28, 30, and you still a street nigga, you don't got nowhere else to go.
Right.
And they don't see, like, they're gonna, with the, like, I got friends that tell me, like, man, I'm ready to go get my CDL now. But they like, damn, but I'm 35, like, it might be too late for the CDL. And it's a feedback loop right back in the street.
Yep.
Right
Happens all the time.
All the time. All the time.
And the thing is, I always look at them like they wounds in the community. Like, you know what I mean? If we have a collective body, then we've been hit a few times, right? We've been hit by a few things. And the fact that we still stand is something to respect. But I always think like this, and this kind of keeps me back in focus. You can't grab a stray dog by the ears. You can only try to feed them. Right? Like, and some guys, they look at black people, especially black men, as something to be grabbed by the ears and reined in. We've been unfed. A starving dog is mangy.
Oh,
right?
God.
Like, it happens. It happens, right? So they sit here and we see these people, right, in public, feral. They hungry, they skinny, you see they bones, right? You see, because they showing the worst parts of themselves, don't even want to. So of course they gonna growl at you, because no one's ever taken the time. And one thing they always took away from our community, this is why I was big to take away the men, because raising the next generation of men was important to disrupt, to the oppressors. They needed that going. Needed that. Because
okay, to that point, you ever watch them videos of when people go save these mangy ass dogs? They always extremely aggressive at first, and they're aggressive out of fear.
Yep.
Once they feel safe, first of all, once they get in a space where they're safe and they're fed, not only do they heal fast, but their behavior becomes tenfold better.
Right.
In a quick way. As soon as they feel safe, as soon as they get a little bit of love. I mean, the healing process not only goes fast, but the behavior changes immediately.
Right, it does.
So how many people are out here acting out just because they don't feel safe?
Right. And the thing is, I always think of it like this: you can catch a guy in a flinch real easy like that, right? Like in that flinch, that's when the worst things happen, right? Whenever they get a little afraid, that's how you end up getting things. That's how upping happens. That's how all that stuff is just mass flinching.
Yeah. Some niggas flinch and kill.
On me,
yeah. Sometimes that flinch be, and then what have you been taught? Don't up it if you ain't gonna use it. Now you got all these different voices in your head.
Right, pre-talking. And they try to.
I don't want to kill you, but what they gonna say if I pulled it out and I don't do nothing with it?
Exactly.
So like it's a lot of bad information, but it's like I said, we got people who are filtering even their own thoughts through the thoughts of others. You know what I'm saying? Through these ideologies or through the music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because their music be gospel sometimes, bro. Like that, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like the amount of music that carried me through my adolescence, I didn't realize was shaping the way I was thinking. But also, you get in these situations and it's reinforced. Right, it's reinforced. Right. It reinforces the way you think. So you might handle a situation a certain way, and you feel good about it. Like, yeah, nigga said something to me, I punched that nigga in the face, and then you go listen to the song, and it celebrates that way of thinking.
Right.
Oh, well, that's a lot. If you look at it like Avatar, a bond, your action being echoed and reinforced and celebrated in this, it create a bond in your mind where you think. Like, so you might handle a situation a certain way, and you feel good about it. Like, yeah, nigga said something to me, I punched that nigga in the face, and then you go listen to the song, and it celebrates that way of thinking. Right. Oh, well, that's a lot. If you look at it like Avatar, a bond, your action being echoed and reinforced and celebrated in this, it create a bond in your mind where it's like, well, this is how I handle all these situations now. Yep. And now I'm 27 and my girl is confronting me about some shit that, yeah, I did but I don't want to admit to because I could lose this relationship. I guess it's time to put hands on her.
And I say it like this. I call it the flame because a man who casts away doubt can't face anything. Can't face anything. That is, it's just he's completely ruined. You have to be able to embrace contradiction and not flinch. That can't be a whole thing. Like a good way to think about it is like I compare it to like black hole logic, but I would even go a step further. The persistency to cast away doubt is so serious that you have boys who ain't even in this situation running practice. Right? They'll hear a song and be inspired. Right? They'll see an incident, get inspired, run practice. But in real life, getting something horrifying because everybody don't gotta flinch. Right? See, and that's one of the things that a lot of people don't understand. To develop a flinch, you must be in fear. Right? So if you run practice, you're gonna be a victim. like what else is going on? Everybody don't got an upper energy. That's why I be having a hard time listening to the rappers nowadays, because you're not you're on practice. You will be on a news headline.
Yeah, well, it's also it's like niggas are spinning their own web and getting caught up in it. It's a bad
exactly, bro.
It's a bad it's just not. Yeah, man. And then sometimes it's like, especially like in the capacity of which we speak, you do like get disheartened sometimes by the shit you see, because it's like, God damn, like every time you feel like you're making an impact, you get 5 headlines that reinforce that you're really not.
On me, it's tough.
You know it's like you get, but you got to keep pushing. You got to keep pressing, because I was just talking to somebody about this today, and I just said it on the podcast, but I had like a further conversation off of it. Like, we don't know what's a production and what's a product. Like, we don't know. We don't know if this is a post. We don't know if this is a production or if this is a product. So like when we on these social media apps and we looking at a shit, something that could be unfolding in real time, like let's for example, cop carrying out misjustice. We don't know if this is a production or not.
Right.
We don't know if this is actually happening or if this is something to reinstill fear of the police system.
It happens.
And we also don't know how they choose what makes the news. You know what I'm saying? So there has to be a checklist that things have to go through. Okay, what is this gonna reinforce to our society?
Right.
So this cop gunning down this black man, what does this reinforce to that society?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right. And the thing is, they be trying to trigger us. It happens all the time. That's because black people
it's literally always happening. That's the thing. And I like you try to get like the more you try to get people hip to it, like the thing is like once you're made aware of something, then you become unbothered by it. So I don't really get moved by the news because I know that it's a production in some aspect. You know what I'm saying? The end goal for the news station that is funded by corporations is to get ratings.
Right.
Okay, well, what's getting the ratings? So on here we giving niggas free ratings all day.
Right.
We creating the conversations that we want to talk about based on our mentality and where we at. We don't know who's pressing the button to make shit viral. We do know in what capacity people are reacting to it. Now, you take a small situation that happens on the internet that we make a big situation, then it gets reinforced by national news where, okay, now a situation similar to this has happened and we're going to amplify it all across the country.
Yep.
9 out of 10, it's always going to reinforce a power dynamic, whether that be the white to the black society or the police to the black society. Whatever conversation they trying to have with us subconsciously is always being reinforced in the national news. So I try not to get phased out about shit, and I try to think things through before I get emotional about it. But then you look at certain situations, and it's like, okay, like for example, like the Carmelo Anthony situation where we got a young man protecting himself, and all the evidence is there that it was self-defense. Let's charge him with first-degree murder.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we all clear that it's self-defense, right? All right, black people, he's being charged as an adult first-degree murder. How you gonna react to that?
I'm telling you, they always like spectacle. That's one big thing for sure. Like in the news, it's like I call it the profit limit pattern, because they only go on what was historically profitable, right? Old ratings influence new ratings. Well, they coming from a state of racism. They don't come from a state of dignity. So the pattern was started from a starting line that had the Klan members in it. It's just one of those cases where like So black people get rewarded for spectacle and rebellion all the time. So you saw like with Kamala Anthony. It was